Okay. Hi everyone. So in this second session, we are basically going to create the database for our incident management system application. In last session, we'll just go through all the requirements, whatever we wanted to implement as a part of this module. And now we will decide how many tables we will require, how many columns, what will be the relationship between the multiple tables. All these things we will create here. Okay. So let's open one notepad here. This is readme file. Now we are going to discuss about this. Let me create new notepad for here. So database structure. Okay, great. So let's assume we will normalize that. Okay. So for login page, we will require one table, that is user login. Okay. So in this table, we will have one username as a string. String means varchar. Okay. In database language, it is varchar. Okay, I'm just writing it as a string because we are planning to use entity framework code first approach in order to create the database. Okay, so what is entity framework code first approach? It will basically, we will need to write the table structure, column structure in a form of object oriented language in a C# code, and it will help you to create the database tables and columns on the basis of whatever classes and properties we have defined. So that's why I will write database as a C# databases. Okay, data types. Next one is password. See, usually we should not keep the password in the database. If you want to keep that, it should be encrypted format, like one-way encryption. But that is the enhancement part. As we are starting it from the scratch, we will keep the password in readable format in the database. So for that purpose, we will require one additional field, which is password. So password we will store as a string. Then we will also have one more field here, that is expired. Okay, or is active. If user is not active, it should not be visible. It should not be able to log in. So that's why it is Boolean. Okay, and then we can keep one more thing here, date time. Okay, date time as a data type, which is last login. So if you log into your system, we should be able to track the history. What is the last login uh, date and time? So this is our first table, number one. Next, let's check our diagram. This is very big thing. Let's talk about this. Okay, create users. So we will require one table, that is user table. In the user table, we will basically have these many things. Let's go here and see. We will require username, user ID, email ID. Okay. So first name, last name. Not sure why they haven't provided these two important fields here, but obviously that we will require. Maybe they are referring username as a full name. Okay, just assume that. So that's why I'm just creating here first name and last name, two different fields. Okay, and next one is user ID. Obviously we will require ID as a primary key. Okay, then email ID, mobile number and role. Okay, great. So email, mobile and role. Okay, so role can be 0, 1, 2. Now what is 0, what is 1, what is 2? So 0 means there are three types of role here, right? End user means 0, analyst means 1, and admin means 2. Okay, we will maintain one enum here. Okay, so we will maintain one enum. That enum will tell what is the meaning of 0, what is the meaning of 1, what is the meaning of 2. Okay, so this is our table structure for user table. Now let's move on to the next one, that is your incident table, this one. Okay, So one more thing, can we do the association between these two things? We should do that, right? If I put username and password, I should be able to get their first name, get their last name, get their email after the login. So that's the reason we will require one foreign key here, that is user ID. Okay, this is your foreign key of user table. Okay, and this is the primary key, PK. This is primary key, this is foreign key. Now let's talk about next table, that is incident master. What is master? Master means the basic information. Okay, so in this one, basic information like the description of your incident. Okay, so first of all, we will require ID column for sure. So let's do that, primary key. Then we will require the description where user will actually put the details about your incident, okay, in string format. Then we will have status. Okay, so status is again 0, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. Okay, there are 6 types of status like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 6. Let's do one thing, remove 0, because for integer default value is 0, so that's why I keep it as a 0. So by default we will have new as a 0, and by default we will have end user as a 0. So let's keep it, no problem. So if you don't assign any role, it will by default end user. If you don't assign any status, it will by default new. So that's why I keep it as a 0. Great. For naming convention, what is the meaning of 4? What is the meaning of 3? We will maintain the enum in the C# code. So don't worry about it. What is enum? You can see our previous lecture. There I already told you what is enum. Okay. Enum means we can just basically give the proper name to your number. So if I say my status is 5, so you should be able to tell me that what is the meaning of 5. Okay, that is the enum. Enum will help you in that case. Okay. Now next one is symptoms. Symptoms is just a text editor. Symptoms means, okay, description. I am trying to book the ticket, but for some reason I'm not able to do that. It is throwing me this exception. Symptoms means you can mention some more details like I am getting 500 error code. Here is the API call we are calling, and then it is returning 500 along with this error message. These are the symptoms. Okay, or we can just mention the high level information. I went to the book ticket form. I fill the information, click on the submit button. I'm not able to book it. Please look into that. And then in description, you can mention all these things, what error code and all you are getting. Okay. So this is also a string. So let's add here. Next one is requester. Single select drop down should have all users. I don't think so. We require requester here because I am as an end user. If I'm trying to create a new ticket, so why I should have the requester there? Whoever is going to create the ticket, that is who, like he is the requester only, right? So let me think about it. Single select drop down for you should have the all users. No problem. We can just add anyway. Either we are going to pass the currently logged in user's ID, or user can choose any user from the drop down. Eventually, we will require one field here, that is user ID. But this is not user ID actually. This is requester ID. Requester means who raised this ticket, created by. Okay, requester means created by. So this is the integer and foreign key of user table, like this. Next, tenant, single dropdown IT HR facility. Okay, so we will require tenant ID as well. So tenant means branch. Okay, which is the branch? So Because of this field, we will require tenant master as well. Okay, tenant master as well. So it will have ID and name, and this tenant ID will be foreign key of tenant master, like this. Okay, let's move on. Location. So location can be city, state, and India country. Okay. Okay, so we will require basically country ID, state ID, and city ID. Okay, city ID only. So city ID is the foreign key of city master table. Okay, so you might be confused why we are not taking state ID, why we are not taking country ID, because there is a chain. Like we will have three more tables, like city master. Okay, it will have ID, name, and state ID. Okay, so this is the chain. We don't have to mention state ID here, because from the city ID we can anytime get the state ID. From the state ID we can anytime get the country ID. So don't repeat all this column here again. Okay, if you have city ID you can get the state ID and country ID anytime. So that's why. So it will be a foreign key of state master table. State master table. Okay, now we will have one more table, that is state master, which will have ID, name, and country ID will be the foreign key of country master table. And we will have another table, that is country master, which will have ID and name, and it will does not have any foreign key, because this is the root node of your tree. Root, then one child, another grandchild, and this is the one more child. Okay, this is the multi-level inheritance, like that. Okay, let's move on. Priority. So priority can be high, low, medium. Okay, so let's have priority, which will be your 0, 1, 2. High, low, medium. 0 means high. Next one, urgency. So it is also like that. I want to book a ticket for tomorrow's date. It is very urgent. Resolve this as soon as possible so that I can book it from your application, like that. It is very high urgency. Okay. Priority means analyst can decide whether it is very high priority or no. Urgency means end user can decide. Okay. Okay, I think we are good for the database structure. Let me go through some additional requirements so we can come up with some additional table structure. Okay, let's say I write the comment. Okay, I written one comment for incident one. So we can have multiple comment. There is a one-to-many relationship. Okay, one incident can have multiple comments. So in that case, we will require one more table here. That is 3.1 comments, incident comments. Okay, ID, comment message or message, and there will be a foreign key of incident master. So incident ID. So this is the foreign key of your incident master table. Got it? So this is also important. So one incident can have multiple comments. This is the one-to-many relationship. Got it? Now let's go next. Analyst. Third tab will contain analyst comment. Analyst comment. After submission, save the response in DB as a JSON. Okay. One more thing. Whatever incident you are going to create, no, so that we need to store it as a JSON as well. So I am going to create one more thing, that is 3.2 incident master JSON. Whatever information we will have, we will just store it as a JSON. So I will have one column here, JSON column. That's it. Okay. Next, raise by once form is save. after submission JSON, okay, once form is saved, show the list of records from the raised by end user, right? We are keeping that requester ID, so it will help you to get end user name. Also one more column we miss here, date time. Okay, means when you created this instance, we are just logging the date as well. Okay, like this last login time. User, while creating the user, when I have created this user, I should be able to log that for auditing purpose. Okay, so that's why created date, we can call it as created date. Okay, user means created date again. Okay, great. So this is the table structure. Let's check if there anything else required. Once the end user login, redirect to the listing page, show only created incidents. Once incident created should be in read only mode. Only if the incident is resolved, end user can make it close. Only status will be editable. Analyst can once see all incident, can open the incident, can mention any comments, and also can add the values in the chat tab. This chat tab I am not sure, so we will skip this for now. Uh, we can check like what we can do in the chat tab. Only analysts can change the incident status. Once admin login, user list should be available. This is we can get from the user table. Admin can create more than one role can be assigned to the okay. More than one roles can be assigned to the user. So user can be user can have multiple roles actually. Okay. User can be end user as well as analyst. Okay, so this line increase the efforts. Okay, let's do one thing. 2.1 role master. Okay, so ID name. We have one to many relationship. Like one user can have multiple roles. So that's why I created one table that is role master. Okay, and we will require one more table here that is user roles. And here we will have ID, user ID, and role ID like this. And we can remove this field. This is the one to many relationship. One user can have multiple roles. Because of this line, we need to think about that also. Where is that? This one. Now please add the validation, add coding guidelines, avoid hard coding and all. Okay. I think this is the table structure we'll require. And once we're done with this, we can start creating the APIs. Okay. So let's meet into the next session.